Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about top 5 topics that I have covered in Future Friday. So let's dive right into it. Now, first topic that was very interesting to cover, that was dark energy and dark matter. The primary reason for it is that we have no idea what the heck these things are. So this is kind of a testament to human understanding at this point in time, is that we can handle something that is unknown, and we can even classify those unknowns into two independent categories by making sure that they are truly independent. They have different behavior properties. So it's a really good unknown for humanity to handle. I know we do not know whether it's going to be solved in 1 year or 100 years from now. We do not know, but it's a very good complex mystery, as you would say. And the efforts of individuals trying to figure things out is quite amazing, flat out amazing. And it's like we at this point in time, we have so many mysteries that have been taken care of. It's like we are in a position, we are refining our knowledge, not like new knowledge. This is the new frontier. We have no idea what the heck this is. It's like trying to figure out tidal waves before you understand gravity or like its effects on moon. So it's really awesome. And I really like the joke of Neil deGrasse Tyson about this puppy, is that it should not be named dark energy and dark matter, because those names kind of give us an idea. It's like we understand what these things do. No, we have no idea. It should be called like, Velma and Geordie and whatever the heck you want, Star Trek and Star Wars. It's like the reality is we have no idea, but like still, how the heck we figured it out that there is something, how the heck we figured out there are two things. So these are quite amazing achievements of humanity at this point in time. Now we come to something more real, rather than universe, something low Earth orbit, bit closer to home. So Starlink is a very critical gamble, quote unquote, for SpaceX, simply because SpaceX is trying to become self-sufficient, financially speaking, which they are not. At this point in time, NASA is paying them the big chunks of money, and then all the commercial satellites they launch, that is the second big chunkus. Now these money is more than good enough to keep them running, but not good enough to grow them. Basically, if they want to do big projects and like basically take care of moon colonization or Mars colonization, that money is not enough. That's like barely, like, they're barely able to pay and barely able to grow. So they took a big gamble on Starlink. Now Starlink is the idea, utilizing the fact that they are the only rocket manufacturer at this point in time which can do a lot of satellite launches on very low cost. They're like, what if we utilize that to provide a low Earth orbit satellite constellation which gives us internet? Now this was launched. Now many things, when Elon Musk says, is like people make a joke out of it, it's like it's Elon timeline. Heck, even Elon Musk knows that it's an Elon timeline. So it's like, he says 4 year, add 4 more, 8 years, be lucky if you count yourself lucky if that happens in that kind of time. However, this is running almost on schedule, so that is kind of awesome. And while be very mindful, the Gen 1 satellites did not had laser links on them, so they were kind of running on like a bounce back. They were basically a relay station rather than like a chain link. They were just a relay. It's like just bounce. So there was some limitation with, that's why the coverage is not worldwide yet. However, they have already reached 1,000 satellites already in low Earth orbit, and they have coverage wise more than good enough. So as long as the government allows for ground station, they should have the ability to cover almost all the planet soon. And on top of that, very recently, while making of this video, they have already started to launch Gen 2 satellites which have laser links. So once they have that, then they will have like truly flexing their muscles at this point in time. And I made a dedicated video which you can check out here, is that this was done. Like this is what we are talking about is past tense, and the demo result is here. Like we know for a fact that it works, and it's quite amazing. It's like somebody came up with the idea, because thousands of people is like, we're gonna do satellite internet. It's like there are companies that do satellite internet. You can go into any rural place of India and you may find a bank ATM. It's running on BSNL satellite internet. It does work. It's just like very tedious, idiotically expensive, and uselessly slow. So compared to that, it's like this is almost as good as a, otherwise ping wise it's like okay, it's like giving you 30 to 50 millisecond ping. Some places, like in some weathers and some places, you may get lower, but lower as in like 100 mms or 500 ms, but most of the time you will have a very good internet. And pipe wise, the thickness is really good. They don't even have data caps at this point in time, so it's really good. It's like it's basically a space program to a remote location near to you. Now this is kind of ironic, simply because USA should not need this project. USA, like US government has a telecommunication department, and that department is paying them big chunks of money. It's like to all the telecommunication. It's like, hey, we know your telecommunication center is here, like let's say plus X from this rural area which have elected electoral power. They are like, hey, we want internet here. They're like, okay, government is like, okay, we're gonna give you, like, you have to lay down fiber for like let's say 100 kilometers. You don't want to take the capital investment, no problem, we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna give you hundreds of millions of dollars just so you can lay down the fiber, and then you charge the internet. And these telecom companies are like, no, just pay us money. oh no, just pay us money. We're just gonna drink that money. So it should not, US should not be in such a bad position where they have idiotically expensive internet. And I'm saying that from India, I have fiber connection that will, like, many Americans will be like, dude, you have 300 Mbps connection up and down, and like around 3 terabytes of data is like, damn. So, and I'm not even gonna say the cost because that might hurt. So that's the reality of it. Like, Starlink should not be needed in America, but it is, and we are all glad because if this project turns out successful everywhere on earth, as long as government is not blocking it, we should have internet. That is a really good thing, like bringing space program to down to earth. Now we come to another aspect which I covered is very interesting, that is plastic waste to fuel. Now you have to understand that we begged for scientists like to give us a magic material that cannot be destroyed by nature, because you may like, hey, wood is good material, big, bulky, heavy, and nature is like, nope. Like termites are like, nope. Metal, you're like big, bulky, strong, solid. Water is like, nope. So no matter what you do, it's like nature is like, nope, sir. So we were begging for something that is absolutely indestructible, and nature gave us like, hey, we have hydrocarbon, you can align them in very interesting way and make it something indestructible. And we begged for it, we wanted it, we made it, we called it wonder material, and this is plastic. This is normal garden variety plastic. We can make it cheap. It's the carbon cost of a making of a plastic, it's almost negligible. Like the reason I find it very hilarious when people say, no, oh, we should use cloth bag or paper bags. I'm like, do you even know the carbon footprint of those things? It's like it will make 10,000 plastic bag for one cloth bag, and like you're not gonna be using that for 10,000 times. So reality is flat out, we wanted a wonder material, we got a wonder material. The problem was we forgot to close the loop. Basically, it was amazing technology. It's just like we should not have just like, littering it everywhere in our seas and ocean. That was the mistake. That was the part that we messed up. So fundamentally, people might say, hey, why not recycle it? But here's the deal, because of the low cost, it's fundamentally impossible to recycle. Like, you can try to recycle it, and because of tax credit and because of like label and marketing campaigns, people have like, you will find many soda bottles that have recycling symbol in that, and that's just like brownie point, so to say. It's like they have used 10% recycled plastic, so they're like, yay. But reality is, it's not financially viable, and if it's not financially viable, no matter how much hula la you do, it's useless. However, fuel, now that is viable. Why? Because it simply requires one step process: collect your plastic and pyrolyze the hell out of it. That's it, done, go home, sweet dreams. So that's a simple process. Like, collect your plastic and just heat that puppy up in an oxygen free environment and make them in liquid state. Now why is that interesting? Liquid hydrocarbon is petrol, diesel. So fundamentally, you can make a fuel, and fuel is much easier to sell. Heck, there are systems where you can just blend it. Like, if you have a oil refinery near you, just give this puppy to oil refinery, and they can mix it with all the soap and detergent. Yes, those things are in your petrol and diesel, and they can make a proper vehicle grade fuel, and you don't even have to think about this. Like, and you might be like, wouldn't that release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Yes, deal. That is environmental side effect. Absolutely. This is a nightmare if it's left in the environment. So given those two options, whether you have a little bit of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere versus a thing that like contaminates the whole of ocean, contaminates the soil system, contaminates everything. Heck, we are eating plastic at this point in time because it's now in our salt. Yeah, much simpler option, and it takes care of it. It's like plastic, we wanted a magical wonder material which only we can destroy. We have it. It's just like, that's really awesome, and many Indians have already started to take care of this. So lot of potential there, and like government just have to like align it, fine tune it, align it. It's like, rather than trying to recycle it, which it does not make sense. It costs too goddamn much. It's not aluminum, whereas like it has enough energy cost, where it's like, you don't, recycling actually makes sense. This is very low energy cost, so only converting into fuel gives us fuel. It makes it much more viable, does not degrade the land, does not degrade the ocean, does not put it in our salt. So that's really amazing technology that helps us to take care of a wonder material, so to say. It's like, be careful what you wish for. Then we come to another aspect. This project I kind of gave me very interesting hope, specifically for India, is because of supercritical CO2 turbines. Now you might be like, why is such an interesting thing? At this point in time, most thermal power plant, whether it be nuclear, whether it be coal based, the natural gas is not considered, simply because most of the time natural gas are directly running on jet engines, so they do not have this thermal cycle. The thermal power plants, on the other hand, utilize steam. Now everything is awesome, it does work, it's a known technology, but they drink water like there is no tomorrow. They could literally drain a river dry, which has started to happen at this point in time. I have already read multiple news articles about power plants in basically West Bengal, where they are already depleted the groundwater reserves. That's not good. The groundwater is a precious resource. We should not be like drinking it. So fundamentally speaking, we need a solution. We cannot utilize steam. Now steam is powerful. It's a known technology. It has power. It has oomph. Basically hundreds and thousands of megawatts coming out of that. So fundamentally you cannot complain about its power. But what if we can go one step further? Imagine CO2 turbine. Now, CO2 is a gas. It does not have the ability to compete against high density steam. Well, yes, practically it cannot. However, if you take CO2 and compress that puppy into what we call supercritical CO2, supercritical, at that point in time is behaving like a liquid while also behaving like a gas. So basically we are taking best of both worlds. Now why would you want to do that? Well, your turbine that is that size, basically size of a giant truck and super idiotically expensive, to like a Amazon 24-hour quick delivery. These are the things that we don't think about. But whenever you are talking about a power plant, this turbine, let's say, is made somewhere in Belgium or somewhere in USA, is made there, and you want to transport it to India. The cost that is spent just to transporting this, it's mind-bogglingly huge. And heck, even in USA itself, let's say there is a factory on one end, on the other end, 3 time zones away, you want to transmit it. Yeah, good luck trying to how much cost is going to take. Now if you make a turbine that is smaller and same equivalent energy, basically instead of let's say 500 megawatt, let's say this is only 400 megawatts, you're like, dude, this is Amazon 24-hour quick delivery. So that saves a lot of cost. That allows this technology to become a replacement, where it's like, hey, that power plant which we have shut down simply because it ran out of water, we can ship it here, rather than be like, okay, now that power plant is not making any money, how the heck they're gonna get a loan to block the roads and do all the fundamental maintenance. It's awesome. And because it's running on closed loop system, it does not require continuous drinking of water, which is awesome. Let's save water and upgrade our system. So water saving, it's very awesome. On top of that, it is also 10% more efficient. Now we are talking. Now is the whole point, because that means either you can spend less, 10% less on your coal, which again, if your power demand is not that high, save money on coal. That's awesome. Money, always awesome. Or you can be like, hey, I have already the contracts for that amount of coal. Let's just have that, but produce 10% more power. So greener energy. So fundamentally, you will reduce carbon footprint of every single coal power plant, every single nuclear thermal power plant. Nuclear power plant, as in like it's also draining groundwater reservoirs, which we do not want to deplete. So awesome. And it's a doable technology. Now be mindful, this technology is very close to prime time, but it's not there yet, because we still have to make sure that this turbines don't self-degrade, because again, it's under a lot of stress, and CO2 in those sort of environment becomes very idiotically destructive. So there are still some room for improvement, and it's basically speaking, at this point in time, limiting factors are the seal. Like how the heck you're gonna seal those things, but it's doable. Like we have figured it out. There are already test projects running on at this point in time, and if we finally crack this will have good impact on our civilization. So I'm very happy with the water saving and Amazon quick delivery. Then we come to something that is very important for our soul at this point in time, the clock of long now. Because you have to understand, a human is like, as a species, as a culture, we are becoming very myopic, so to say. Basically, we are looking, rather than looking 100 years from the future, we are looking in, first we started to look into 50 years, then we started to look at 25 years, then 10 years, then like 5 years. Now we are not even looking in the future. It's like, and the founders of this foundation, that is Long Now Foundation, they flat out said, like, everybody was looking forward to 2000s. It's like, the 2000s, man, that will be the thing, that will be the future. But nobody went ahead of that, and we are in 2021 at this point in time, but world did not move back. It's like we got stuck. We lost our will to see in the future, and because of that, every problem that is solvable in long enough time became unsolvable. For example, think of this. Let's say there is a village in India, which is a true case. They depleted their groundwater reserve. They're stuck. They're in bad position. Some people went there, and it's like, yeah, we can't do anything about this. Now other people went there. It's like, okay, we can do this, but it will take time. So they started to do the basically grind. It took them 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, and they now have finally restored the groundwater reservoir. They have enough water recycling system, they have enough rainwater harvesting system, they have enough water check dams, that now they don't even have to think about water. So it takes time. Every problem is solvable if you have enough time. Like people are doing the same thing with basically global warming. It's like everybody wants global warming to be solved like this. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We destroyed it over hundreds of years, and how the heck you can expect it to be solved in like 14 years or 5 years? Yeah, that's not happening. Now give 100 years, it's solvable. Think of this way, like we had the issue with ozone depletion. It took us time, but we did it. It's like we did it. It was an issue, we figured it out, had a clear solution, took time, but we solved it. So that's the whole thing. Like the fact that we are not seeing in the future, it's fundamentally bad for humanity. And stock market is kind of amplifying it, because everything is like now bought and sold like 5 or 10 times per second. It's like the product has not even left the studio, like product has not even left to the customer hand yet, and it's just like lol, let's just buy and sell, like it's like lol. And it's really amplifying our worst impulses of like short-term thinking, and it's really bad for humans, like really bad. It's like we are no longer thinking even for our old age. Like so many people say now, let's not have children. I'm like, you do know that you're gonna age, you do know it's gonna be very painful, and you do know if we do not have children to replace ourself itself, the whole system will collapse. Like fundamentally, you're not gonna oh, I'm gonna go into old age home, there won't be any homes left. So fundamentally, that sort of short-term mentality, I can't blame that. Like if that's every news channel, that's every YouTuber, that's every place which you, it's really problematic. So this foundation, they are trying to make a change rather than like bitch about it. They're like making projects that will force you to think. No, think in long terms, and think of this way: like we only think about past. Only the things that we fascinate us are the things that have survived. Time is the final judge, jury, and executioner. So we have to respect time, and our ancestors did, like they did a very good job in that regard. Like they thought of long term. We have to do better job at this point. Like we kind of lost in our progress, we kind of became faster and faster, and like we lost our vision. So these people are trying to do reignite that kind of passion, where it's like, hey, think in 5 terms, think in 50 years, think in 500 years. Like right now, every business venture is like, hey, we're gonna buy this and we want quarterly report. I'm like, we don't even wait for 10 years now. It's like there used to be time where buildings supposed to have like 10 years lease time. It's like now it's like no, it has to make profit in 5 minutes. It's like wow. So this is really good for our soul, for our mind, because if our mind gets corrupted, there is no point of science and technology. It's like we're only gonna destroy ourselves with that. So I'm really happy that some people are like, no, we're gonna solve it, we're gonna try to inspire it, and even if it only inspires few people, it's better than zero. So I'm really happy with this. So this was my presentation of top 5 topics that I have covered. I hope you have liked it, learned from it. If you have not watched them, please watch them, and in that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.